John, a wealthy 60-year-old man, shows up at the country club one day with his new wife, a smoking hot 28-year-old. His buddies are amazed. There is no way someone that young and attractive would agree to marry an old geezer like you. How did you pull it off? It's simple, John says. I lied to her about my age. Did you tell her you were 50? His friends ask. John shakes his head no. There is no way she could believe you were 40. They exclaim. John shakes his head again. So how old did you tell her you were exactly? John smiles and whispers 85. It is the evening of June 4th. A blonde is in the Oval Office. She is disappointed she can't see any of the fireworks. Bill Clinton has gone out to do something. Suddenly, she finds the big red fireworks button under his desk. She presses it. A computer asks her where the destination is. She types Washington, D.C. Sure enough, a few minutes pass, and to her delight, the sky lights up a brilliant orange hue. Unfortunately, those were not fireworks. 3 girls all worked in the same office with the same female boss. Each day, they noticed the boss left work early. One day the girls decided that, when the boss left, they would leave right behind her. After all, she never called or came back to work, so how would she know they went home early? The brunette was thrilled to be home early. She did a little gardening, spent playtime with her son, and went to bed early. The redhead was elated to be able to get in a quick workout at the spa before meeting a dinner date. The blonde was happy to get home early and surprise her husband, but when she got to her bedroom, she heard a muffled noise from inside. Slowly and quietly, she cracked open the door and was mortified to see her husband fooling around with her boss. Gently, she closed the door and crept out of her house. The next day, at their coffee break, the brunette and redhead planned to leave early again, and they asked the blonde if she was going to go with them. No way, the blonde exclaimed. I almost got caught yesterday. Little Johnny, Billy, and Tommy were walking home from school one warm spring day. As they were cutting through the alleys and backyards, they happened to look through a hole in the fence of one of the yards where a woman was sunbathing in the. As they looked through the hole, Johnny suddenly started to scream, left his friends and took off running for home. The next day, as the 3 boys came home again, they found the same hole in the fence and started to watch the woman. Again, after just a few minutes, Johnny started screaming and ran off quickly. On the 3rd day, the boys were peeping into the hole in the fence again after school, when Johnny turned around and started to run again. But this time, Bill and Tommy grabbed him and demanded to know what was wrong. Johnny replied, my mother told me that if I ever looked at an ass woman, I would turn to stone. And I started to feel a part of me getting awfully hard. Little Johnny woke up in the middle of the night and went to the bathroom. On the way back to bed, he passed his parents' room. When he looked in, he noticed the covers bouncing. He called to his dad, Hey, Dad, what are you doing? The dad answered, playing cards. Little Johnny asked, Who's your partner? The dad answered, Your mom. Little Johnny then passed by his older sister's room. Again, he noticed the covers bouncing. He called to his sister, Hey, sis, what are you doing? The sister answered, Playing cards. Little Johnny asked, Who's your partner? She answered, My boyfriend. A little later, the dad got up and went to the bathroom, naturally. As he passed Little Johnny's room, he noticed the covers bouncing. He called to his son, What are you doing? Little Johnny answered, Playing cards. The dad asked, Really? Who's your partner? Little Johnny answered, You don't need a partner if you have a good hand. A guy took his blonde girlfriend to her first football game. They had great seats right behind their team's bench. After the game, he asked her how she liked the experience. "Oh, I really liked it," she replied, "especially the tight pants and all the big muscles, but I just couldn't understand why they were killing each other over 25 cents. Dumbfounded, her date asked, "What do you mean?" "Well, they flipped a coin, one team got it, and then for the rest of the game, all they kept screaming was, 'Get the quarterback. Get the quarterback.'" I'm like, hello? It's only 25 cents. 3 blondes decide to go hunting. While they are in the field, they stumble across a set of tracks. The first one exclaimed, "Oh, look. Deer tracks." The second one said, "You dummy, those are definitely moose tracks." The third one chimed in and said, "You're both wrong. Those are the biggest bear tracks I've ever seen." They started arguing about who was right and who was wrong. After about an hour, they decided it was moose tracks. And that's when the train hit them. An avid line dancing couple go to the doctor for a checkup because they are having trouble remembering anything but all the latest line dances. The doctor finds them in excellent health, of course, but suggests that writing things down may help their memories off the dance floor. That night, the husband gets up to go to the kitchen and the wife asks for a dish of ice cream, suggesting that maybe he write it down. He says, "I don't need to write it down." She says, "Well, I want strawberries on it, so maybe you better write it down." "I don't need to write it down," he says, and walks off in a huff. 20 minutes later, he comes back with a plate of bacon and eggs. "I told you to write it down," she says, "you forgot my toast." 3 married men are sitting in a pool club and arguing over who has the worst marriage. One of the men says, "I have it the worst. My prudish wife won't sleep with me more than once a month. She refuses." The other men shake their heads. One of them asks, "What did you do about it?" The man says, "I slept with that horny blonde over there by the pool table. Unlike my wife, she'll do anything." The men laugh. The second man says, "You think that's bad? My uptight wife won't even sleep with me once a year." The other men shake their heads and one of them asks, "So, what did you do about it?" The man says, "I got my rocks off with that same slutty blonde over there by the pool table. She'll literally do any guy." The men laugh, then the third man says, "That too bad for you guys, but honestly, I definitely have it the worst." The men say, "What's the problem with your wife?" The man says, "Well, for one, she's always down here playing pool." Hey there, I put a lot effort into making these videos, so please subscribe for more jokes and stay happy.